Welcome home. Alright, what's going on, guys? It's Apoqsi, and you guys actually voted for Fallout 4 New Vegas to get weekly updates from me here on the channel, and I'm really excited about that because it means I get to cover this mod more often and keep you guys more in the loop of what's going on without you guys having to go and check out all their social medias yourself. I still suggest you do that. It'll always be linked in the description below, but now that it's going to be weekly, that means that the videos are no longer going to be 15 to 20 minutes long. They're probably going to be 5 minutes or less now, which is also pretty exciting. And this is actually updates from last week, and we're going to be doing another episode tomorrow whenever the update is released for this week, and I'll be sure to release that as soon as possible tomorrow. So for this week, we wanted to feature the Western House Kit by 3D team member Glenn Donnelly. With the differences in setting between Fallout New Vegas and Fallout 4, despite our efforts to reuse the assets present in the base game, we sometimes require new architectural assets. Among those that are key for Fallout 4 New Vegas is the Western House Kit, providing us with the assets needed to recreate the homes found within Fallout New Vegas, but in such a way that the modular parts can be used to create variations of those homes. These parts are one of the most important sets of assets needed for Fallout 4 New Vegas, and I'd assume that's because these building assets are used so frequently, and as you guys can see, it's looking great in game. I would also like to point out that as of right now, it looks like you can enter the building without having to go through a load screen. Don't know if they're going to be doing any of that in the actual release of the mod. If they do, that would be quite interesting. Now, that was the featured content Friday. Now we're going to be jumping into the Monday devlog of last week, and it's definitely a long post. So, Fallout 4 New Vegas as a whole tends to aim for a focus on specific milestone areas. Team members will be guided towards assets, scripts, and level design projects that tie into these goals so as to ensure we meet them on time and at an appropriate quality standard. However, given the realities of the different timescales of various development processes, this may mean that one team is partially slowed by their needs for assets from another, or may end up completing their goals as a part of the milestone ahead of schedule. When this happens with the level design team, efforts are focused on utilization of pre-existing assets and material swaps, a method to change the appearance of an asset without changing the model to create assets that may be needed later down the road. The screenshots showcased this week, for instance, are a part of that process, and what you guys are seeing are screenshots of Driver Neffy's hideout. Many of the factory-styled buildings in Fallout 4 do not match up with the look and feel of the bombed-out structures found in the Vegas ruins. While they're gorgeous buildings in their own right, and our level design team has found plenty of uses for the assets within, some custom work was needed to mimic the shattered and windswept structures of the Vegas ruins, while still providing a more interesting interpretation of these oft-forgettable locations. The process of creating one or two of these buildings allows our level design staff to quickly address deficiencies in the assets they need to complete their work on them and allow them to plan ahead for the future sprints in those regions. This ultimately means that down the line, development will be able to move faster in these areas, and that the asset team will be able to slowly pivot to asset creation in those areas as needed without any unpleasant surprises. And that is everything they had to share for last week's updates. And I gotta say, these updates make it unquestionable that these people know what they're doing. These mod authors are the best of the best, and it almost feels like I can guarantee to you guys that this will be eventually released, whether it's a year from now, 2 years from now, however long. I feel like I can guarantee that it will sometime eventually be released, and that's just because of the quality that they're pumping out, the amount of updates that they're releasing, and the amount of information and how in-depth they're going into their creation process. It's just absolutely astonishing. I find it very intriguing hearing about this stuff, and I want to know from you guys if you find this interesting, because I personally am really intrigued about hearing this kind of information from them, and it makes me believe that this will eventually get released. I'm excited to bring you guys the update tomorrow, and there will be updates weekly moving forward every Monday or maybe Tuesday, depending on how late the updates are released. But anyways, guys, that is it for this video. Hopefully you got something out of it. If you did, please smack that like button down below and subscribe to join the good fights if you haven't already. It would be super greatly appreciated, as always. But anyways, guys, until next time, this is Apoqsi signing off.